All right, everybody, welcome in. Welcome in. Happy Thursday. Today is October 28th. No, it's not. It's October 27th. Thursday. Great introduction here. Welcome in, everybody. I'm very excited to talk to you about Elon and Twitter and the acquisition that's very likely to happen tomorrow, basically 100% now, since we saw Elon carrying in a sink into Twitter headquarters, which was super weird. But anyway, what I'd like to do today is take the statement that was shared by Elon this morning that was directly targeted towards advertisers on Twitter. I think there's a lot of nuggets in that statement that we can draw from that we can use to see where this platform is heading and how someone like Elon Musk is building a company already before even taking the reins very publicly and putting it out there for everybody to see. So let's go ahead and get started. Here we go. Production value, as usual. My God, this is just mind-blowing. So this is an image. Let me remove myself. That is an image, a live image from Twitter headquarters of Elon walking into the building, FYI. It's not photoshopped, it's real. Come on now, it's real. He's going to school, all right? Let's get started with the statement. So I wanted to reach out personally to share my motivation in acquiring Twitter. There has been much speculation about why I bought Twitter and what I think about advertising. Most of it has been wrong. The reason I acquired Twitter is because it is important to the future of civilization to have a common digital town square where a wide range of beliefs can be debated in a healthy manner without resorting to violence. There is currently great danger that social media will splinter into far right-wing and far left-wing echo chambers that generate more hate and divide our society. In the relentless pursuit of clicks, much of traditional media has fueled and catered to those polarized extremes as they believe that is what brings in the money. But in doing so, the opportunity for dialogue is lost. So, what are the big nuggets that can be taken out of this statement? So this is sort of what I'm reading into it. Grand vision, right? The reason I acquired Twitter is because it is important to the future of civilization to have a common digital town square. That is a very, very big vision. It's no different than the other companies that he started in SpaceX and Tesla. So if we read Tesla's statement that they have, their mission statement, which I think has morphed a little bit over time. I don't know if you can hear my dogs. Like last video, they're crazy. Accelerating the advent of sustainable transport and energy generation. That is essentially the mission statement that Tesla has. And this, from what I think is the case, the reason why these are such grand statements is to do two things. One, to inspire the public and to really get folks excited about supporting the company. But two, it's also very, it's a great thing for an employee to feel, somebody that works at, say, a Tesla, when they go to work and they're like, oh my God, I'm actually working for something that's much bigger than I am. So this is done very deliberately. It's done in a way so that the public understands that it's not just a thing that they're building to as a product or service. It has a huge meaning behind it. It's more than self. It's more than an individual. It's a big mission. And Elon is very good at doing this as a business leader. So what is an equivalent sort of mission statement for Twitter that can be said here? To ensure the future of civilization by facilitating healthy debate in a wide range of beliefs, right? And all I'm doing here, I'm just taking just the words that were stated here and trying to compress it so it's not an entire paragraph, right? But you can kind of see if you compare the two, to ensure the future of civilization by facilitating healthy debate in a wide range of beliefs, and accelerating the advent of sustainable transport and energy generation. These two are very grand visions, and they really set the stage for the rest of the company, for how the company is going to operate, and they have that sort of thing they can always come back to and say, this is why we are here. This is why we're building stuff. This is why we care about making these things for people, right? And it seems kind of like, I can understand why some people are like, this is just kind of like marketing and it's sort of, trying to make you feel a certain way. Of course, that's definitely part of it. But I think what's really important here is that the way Elon has created his companies, they stick. That mission statement sticks. And if you look at the folks that are excited about the company and the people that purchase the products, myself included, are very, very passionate about those things because you can tell that the company really holds these mission statements very, very near and dear to their hearts. And Elon has set the stage from the get-go, again, before he even finalized the deal, which, we think it's tomorrow. It's already out there. So the employees and everybody who wants to use Twitter knows why they made the purchase, why Elon owns Twitter now. So fascinating thing, and it's right par for the course with how Elon operates as a business leader, which is fascinating to watch. I'm very interested in that. I really take a lot of I admire how business leaders build businesses, and this is just such a cool way of doing it. It's very, very unique. All right, next part of the statement. This is why I bought Twitter. I didn't do it because it would be easy. I didn't do it to make more money. I did it to try to help humanity whom I love. And I do so with humility, recognizing that failure in pursuing this goal, despite our best efforts, is a very real possibility. That said, Twitter obviously cannot become a free-for-all hellscape where anything can be said with no consequences! Exclamation point. In addition to adhering to the laws of the land, our platform must be warm and welcoming to all, where you can choose your desired experience according to your preferences, just as you can choose, for example, to see movies or play video games ranging from all ages to mature. So, again, yet another sort of nugget out there that's been thrown. It's an existential thing that we're building. This is very, very existential. That is why I bought Twitter. I didn't do it because it would be easy. I didn't do it to make more money. I did it to try to help humanity whom I love, right? Existential. I'm doing this for more than just the money. I'm doing it because I really care about people. I'm doing it because I really want people to want civilization to survive, right? That's the messaging he's putting out there, which is really, really cool. And it's great to see. The vulnerable aspect for it too, let me go back one. I do so with humility, recognizing that failure in pursuing this goal despite our best efforts is a very real possibility. So the vulnerable aspect there, I think, gets people to really they can see, or he hopes that they can see, that he's doing this in a very honest manner, right? That this is not something that he views as, I'm going to just make this happen and I'm going to make all the money in the world. I'm going to try to convey that even though this may fail, it's important enough to do. So what are some parallels that we can draw from that with Tesla and SpaceX? It's the same exact vision, right? SpaceX. There was a 99% chance of failure. I still did it anyway because it's important to be a multi-planet species. We have to make reusable rockets. Super, super hard to do, but it's important enough to do it, and Elon has talked about that before. Tesla, same thing. It's very important to move the world towards a sustainable future, and I decided to take it on not because it's easy, but because it's very, very important. Yet another example of that. So Twitter, again, be it true or false, it's framed around that same exact thought process, right? And I do so with humility, recognizing that failure in pursuing this goal, despite our best efforts, is a very real possibility. Yet another sort of brilliant statement that separates Elon from a lot of different business leaders, making it very existential, but also making it extremely personable and really conveying the message that this is a very hard thing to do, right? Now, the second stage of the paragraph there, the stage has been set for what Twitter actually fundamentally is going to be as a service, right? So if we read that statement again, Twitter obviously cannot become a free-for-all hellscape where anything can be said with no consequences. In addition to adhering to laws of the land, our platform must be warm and welcoming to all, where you can choose your desired experience according to your preferences, just as you can choose, for example, to see movies or play video games ranging from all ages to mature. So the three takeaways I got from that message is that this platform is going to be fair, it's going to adhere to laws, and it's going to adhere to rule sets. It's going to be very customizable, so every single person that goes on the platform can customize the experience to themselves, and it's going to have maximum reach. So maximum reach is drawn from the statement of, in addition to adhering to the laws, our platform must be warm and welcoming to all, where you can choose your desired experience. Combination of a customizability and maximum reach, right? So the idea here is that they're setting the stage, as a rule set for the company that says we have to ensure everything we do abides by the laws of the countries that we operate in. However, we're going to go out of our way to ensure that the service we're providing is going to reach as many people as humanly possible. Essentially, if you have an internet service, you're going to get the service, and we're going to allow each individual to cater that service to fit their needs, what they're looking for from the service, right? So those are the guiding principles for the actual service. So as an employee, when you read that, you're like, okay, cool. So what does that mean? I'm going to have a lot of customers, and we're going to really make this thing awesome for each user, right? That's what I take away from it. Now, let's go into the last bit of the statement here. I also very much believe that advertising, when done right, can delight, entertain, and inform you. It can show you a service or product or medical treatment that you never knew existed, but is right for you. For this to be true, it is essential to show Twitter users advertising that is as relevant as possible to their needs. Relevancy. Low relevancy ads are spam, but highly relevant ads are actually content. Fundamentally, Twitter aspires to be the most respected advertising platform in the world that strengthens your brand and grows your enterprises. To everyone who has partnered with us, I thank you. Let us build something extraordinary together. So, fascinating statement here. Fascinating statement. So, what is the thing that... What's the olive branch? So there's an olive branch that's being passed on to all the advertisers that were on Twitter that says, hey, guess what? I recognize that there's a lot of room to grow from an ads perspective, and we as Twitter are going to innovate on that. We're going to innovate as your partner. We're going to innovate in ads, and we're going to make them hyper targeted, right? So a lot of people have taken they don't like this statement too much because it's like, well, crap, I thought we were going to move away from ads. We're going to go to a place where, the thing can just, we all pay and whatever. But I think what has been identified here is that for the company to scale, they need to figure out how to make as much money as humanly possible, as quickly as humanly possible. And the Twitter team with Elon at the helm believe that an innovation in ads is the way to go. So I'm very curious to see how this plays out. But my major takeaway from here, though, the major takeaway from this statement for me is that this was Elon's first message as really the Twitter owner. This is the first statement that came out of his Twitter, out of his mouth, as essentially the owner directly to their customer base and their partners. This was their very first message. And the way I read this is that the very first, the very first priority for the company is monetization. Is making money as quickly as humanly possible so they can scale, so they can get this thing to where it needs to be, right? This is not unlike how Tesla has built Tesla, or how Elon has built Tesla as an example, right? The way Tesla was built to get to the point that it's now, where it's a cash cow and it's making a gigantic amount of cash for the company, they had to start with a proof of concept. They started with the Roadster. Then they created awareness of the brand with the Model S. And then the Model 3 and Y became the cash cows, right? Boom, boom. Now we're making money. Now we can scale. So there was this sort of like accelerant, not accelerant, but there was this concept that they had to put together to get to that Model 3 and Y aspect, right? With Twitter, it's very similar, but a couple steps have been skipped to be able to make that money that Elon and the team want to make to be able to scale. Social media, think of it as a proof of concept, so it's analogous to the Roadster. Twitter itself, the app, has been the awareness, right? As we use Twitter or Facebook or TikTok or Snapchat or whatever, pick your thing, those apps are really the awareness. That's like, oh my God, there is a app here that I can use and I can be social on it. There's media on there. It's social media, right? But the third cog that Twitter is missing is the money. Twitter doesn't really make money, because they're, the way they've built the model for the company is not very profitable, if at all, right? I believe it loses money. So it's very interesting that that's the first message, because that's what's missing. That's what's missing. The proof of concept has played out. Social media obviously works and everybody uses it. Twitter is one of those social media apps that has created awareness for itself, but now that third cog is missing, it's money. And I really think that's why our friend Elon came out with this statement, because he knows that that's the missing link. We already did the two, right? Which is the statement that Elon has made in the past of Twitter accelerates X.com by 3 years, falls directly in line with this message. Is that now that he's purchased the company, he doesn't have to do step one and step two. Really, step two, where he doesn't have to create this app that is going to have the network effects and it takes a while to get the user base going. Those two things are already taken care of. And those two steps right there, I believe, is what Elon thinks of as 3 years, is those two steps, right? Which I think sort of leads us to the conclusion here, is that based on this sort of ideology, I believe that Elon's moving towards is that Twitter in 12 months will be completely unrecognizable. It's going to be a completely different experience. No one's going to know. Like, you're going to look at it and be like, what the hell is that? It's like, oh, that's Twitter. It's like, no, it's not. It's not Twitter. What's going on? Because this right here is the most important piece of the puzzle right now. They have to figure out how to monetize. And the only way to monetize the platform right now is to get a bunch of people on there and to get the sort of the ad network to be as useful as humanly possible for both the creators, really all three of them, for the creators of the ad, for the users that view those ads, and the company itself, right? It's going to be fascinating to watch how this plays out. And I think it's become now very clear how the sort of stage, like the priority list is going to go down with the company. The monetization aspect is going to be incredibly important, which is driven by user base and extremely good ads that will make the company a bunch of money. And then after those two things are achieved, I think that's when you start going into the sort of game-breaking stuff like a YouTube competitor. A digital wallet actually could fit into this monetization aspect too if you take a transaction, right? So think about that, the sort of monetization aspect of that. And I think the one thing that's potentially down the pike too is I think this sets the stage for Twitter to really come out with some sort of like hardware that allows Twitter to maximize its ability to do hyper-targeted ads. So if you think about your phone right now, this thing, it's got cracks on it. You can see it. It's freaking so old. That's not really old. I'm just an idiot. I break phones. When you download an app, what's the one thing you get? Especially on iPhone. Hey, I don't want the app to track my things, right? Which makes it very hard for the advertisers to advertise. It's just it is what it is. What if Twitter says, okay, you know what? In order to really maximize our ability to drive ads to people, what if we just come out with hardware where the Twitter app itself is not trackable or it's maximally tracked and you theoretically can't, stop the phone from tracking you or whatever, which is kind of like opens up a ton of different questions on its own. I'm just kind of exploring the thought process here. But it allows you to do that with any other app, just not with Twitter. And then that allows the company to have extremely targeted ads. But the really crucial thing there is that the customer has to trust the product. They have to trust the service. That's what it really comes down to. If you feel like you trust it, then you're going to be willing to give away your quote unquote data because you feel like that data is going to be exchanged for a really good service that's going to be extremely customized to your needs as a user. So, but to kind of like bring it all back together, I believe this is the true priority right now is to just get this thing to monetize. And it's probably not, it's probably obvious because that's why he bought it. You need to make money. But I think the way it was laid out to advertisers was really, really fascinating. So I would love to hear what you think. Go down in the comment section below. Share your thoughts. Do you think I got this wrong? Do you think I got this right? I would love to hear your opinion on where this is going. Tomorrow, we're hosting a live stream at 11 a.m. on this channel with the community to sort of really deep dive these topics and spend a lot of time figuring out exactly what this means and how folks could potentially benefit from maybe starting a business on Twitter or doing something on Twitter. I think there's a lot of opportunity here. And it's very exciting to watch. It's very, very exciting to watch. So thank you all very much for coming on my channel today. I really appreciate you. The one thing I want to close out with is, I don't know if you guys are aware, I always got questions about, hey, where's your merch? Where's your merch? Where's your merch? So I finally got some merch. If you are interested in supporting the channel in any way, here's my merch. farzamisbahi.com/merch, which you can see up here. Here's my stupid face. And then here's my merch. So it's themed around the robots are coming. The thought process here is like, hey, we have like the future's coming and Optimus is coming. It's going to be crazy. And it's kind of raising awareness. And then the cool thing is all these shirts, that guy looks like my brother, which is really freaky. Let me show you real quick what I'm talking about here. All these shirts come with a little QR code on the back. This QR code. And this QR code sends you to the video that sort of inspired this whole thing. I don't know if you guys have watched it, but it's on my YouTube channel as well. It's called The Robots Are Coming. I can't even talk right. Look at me. I'm the worst salesman ever. Anyway, thank you all very much for coming. If you enjoy the content, throw me a like, subscribe, all that good stuff, and we'll see you tomorrow. Take it easy, everybody. Mwah. Bye-bye.